Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Walkie Mandu. We're back again. We're gonna keep going on the BMW. Got a little confession to make. Wasn't gonna do this video. Wasn't gonna come out here today. It's still cold, and I'm tired. I've been working a lot lately, but you know what? Anything worth doing is never easy. So I'm gonna press forward. In the cold, I'm gonna press forward. No matter if I'm tired, if I'm missing a day off or whatever, I'm gonna keep going. But enough of my little baby crying. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what we got. Now I got this cool tripod first of all, so you guys can kind of see some of the stuff that's going on in there. But basically, I'm pretty, from the last time you've seen it, I'm down to this part here. So what I'm gonna do is basically I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this up, and then I'm gonna clean up some of the parts, and then I'm gonna start trying to reinstall everything, see how far I can get with it. So that's where I'm at. But I'll probably time lapse it, probably not, but we'll see. See you in a bit. Alright guys, so the first thing I did was I went ahead and cleaned up some of the coolant that had spilled before, and I tucked this hose away because it kept freaking spilling. But I'm gonna do an old school trick that my engine builder taught me. The first thing you want to do is be extremely careful, because what I'm going to use is a little bit of this lacquer thinner. I'm going to use this to help clean up the surface that the intake manifold is going to attach to. So what I do is I take like a small piece of rag or something, and then on a scrubby pad, and then when I pour the lacquer thinner on the rag, it absorbs it, and then I can kind of squeeze and kind of use the scrubby pad with the lacquer thinner in it to go through and kind of clean everything up, so that way I'm getting enough cleaning stuff, in this case lacquer thinner cleaning stuff, on the surface to clean it up. And then I'll go back over it with like brake parts cleaner or something. But as you can see, I have stuff stuffed in here so nothing gets in the intake, ruins anything that way. So I'm going to keep this away from any paint or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and douse this over here, and then come back right here and clean this. So now that I've carefully put it over there, you can start just kind of scrubbing it on the surface. And it'll start taking some of this crap off, so it can help you clean this up. So this is going to take a while. I'll probably have to break out some brushes and some more stuff, because this is really stuck on good stuff. So I'm going to put you on a time lapse while I do this. Well guys, if you saw that on the GoPro where I had the time lapse, then you'll see this is why I buy the $1.99 stuff, so you don't have to. So the handle broke, couldn't handle my manly strength, so yeah, thumbs down. Alright guys, as you can see, that is about as clean as this puppy's gonna get right here. So it didn't turn out bad. It could have been, I probably could have spent more time cleaning it, but I just can't. Yeah, but yeah, it's clean. It should mate just fine, and and I think we're gonna be good. First, I was gonna go ahead and put the pipe on. I went ahead and put a little bit of RTV on the end of this thing just to kind of help me out. And it shouldn't do anything bad to it. It should still seal exactly like it's supposed to. I just did this so I can kind of shove this thing in there and see if I can't. Yep. And it pushed in just fine. It clicked in. Looks like the bolts are gonna line up. I'm gonna grab a bolt. I'll go ahead and tighten that in a little bit, but first I'm gonna go ahead and fit the top one on too. Alright, so I got the top hose that I'm about to put on now, and we are gonna make sure this thing just fits right where it's supposed to go. There we go. It's in, and we're gonna get the nut and the bolt that holds that in, and we should be good to go. This little nut that's supposed to fit right here, and also there is a bolt that goes back here. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish bolting those in. I know that I got one more bolt here that goes right down here, and that keeps that one in place. Let me go and put that in now. Alright, so I'm gonna go get a ratchet and make sure these go in right. And we're gonna get that all buttoned up. So give me a second. Alright, I'm just going in with a 13mm to tighten these up. The torque spec on these is actually, I'm not sure. I'm just doing it tight. I know these are plastic parts, so I'm not going too tight. I'm basically just going down till it's snug and then going like a quarter turn. Snug, and then a quarter turn. And that's pretty much all I'm doing with these. Going down snug, then a quarter turn. Bam. And that should be plenty for these. And then the ground wires, same thing. Just a little something. And this one underneath, same thing. Snug it down, then a quarter turn. And that should be plenty to keep those on. They're just pipes. They're not gonna really shake loose. I don't see that being a big problem. Snug, quarter turn, and it should be fine. These should hold just great. So give them a test, and I think they're all gonna be great. So on to the next. Let's go ahead and clean up some parts. Alright, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna strip down some of this stuff on this. I'll probably keep this here because I'm not gonna be replacing that. I'm gonna be replacing this here. I'm going to be replacing all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and strip this off of here and pull the lines through, and I'm going to be replacing it with these parts here. So I'm going to strip down what I need to strip down, and then I'm going to have to take these gaskets out, if you can see those. Up there. I'm gonna take the gaskets out. I'm gonna strip it, just kind of strip it down. I'm gonna take a few pictures so I know exactly where everything goes. Take a few pictures, strip everything down, clean it up real good, and then replace all of these like kind of air intake vacuum stuff, so ensure there's no more leaks. So I'll do that right now. Alright, I just kind of wanted to show you this because this got me a little bit stumped. But this little hose right here, the way this comes off is that you got to push all the way down. And then when you get it all the way down and this little lever kind of pulls up like this, there'll be a little gap in there. Alright, then you hold and then you pull up and it comes out. So in case anybody else gets stuck like I just did, that's how you do that. Alright, so these little lines were super brittle, so I just ended up just snapping them off. Couldn't really get this out of here, but I'm sure the way to do this is to squeeze one way or another and then pull, but there's just not enough room. So since I'm going to be replacing this anyway, doesn't really matter, but I am going to sit back and kind of train myself on how to make sure these come on and off without having to snap them. So there you go. Alright, looks like it's time to clean this thing up. I'm going to go ahead and use this all-in-one orange oxy. This is the stuff that I got from Home Depot. It was like just like a couple of dollars or something like that. And it works pretty good. So I didn't want to use anything really strong on this because I'm just doing a light cleanup just to get the crud off of it. And there's no need of going really crazy with this. I just want it to be clean. So I'm just going to grab a rag, clean this up. I might be going a little far, but I don't care. Ports for the fuel injectors. Just being careful not to crack or break nothing. As we already know, this thing will break in a heartbeat. Alright, so we got all the little ports cleaned. And we're gonna just finish cleaning up the outsides of this. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put the hose, start putting some of these hoses on. I think this is gonna slide down in first. And we're just gonna twist it on in like it's supposed to go. And then that should go in like that. But I'm gonna double check this because I'm telling you, that's why I take pictures. Alright, so this was right. This is the correct way to put this on. And because it's in there, I'm going to go ahead and just snap it on. That way, that'll be one less thing I got to mess with. Alright, so that's about it for this little part right here. So I did put the new gaskets in here. So, new gaskets. Alright, back to this. Alright guys, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this little O-ring out, and then I'm going to clean up this throttle body. I'm going with the old school one. I know I opened up the new ones, but so that O-ring's coming out. Take that out. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just clean that up. Some throttle body cleaner. Whenever you do this, whenever you clean these up, do not push this flap, because there's a very sensitive little mechanism in here, and if you go messing with this flap while you're trying to clean it, then you're gonna have problems later. So just whenever you do the throttle body, just don't mess with the flap, okay? Leave that alone. Alright, so I'm just gonna use a little throttle choke cleaner, because I'm using a little because that's all I got left is a little. I might not have any. There you go. With that, put a little bit on the rag so I can clean up, help me out a little bit, and then you can just kind of wipe the stuff away. It works good. Just being careful not to hit the flap, because I don't want any I don't want no trouble. I don't want any problems. And don't use like try not to use anything harsh in here. I just use just what you're supposed to use, okay? Don't use anything crazy. Oops. So now that's all nice and clean. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and slide on the new throttle body gasket. And we're just going to slide that bad boy in there. And there you have it. When I did that, I made sure that all of the other stuff in here was hooked up first. I checked those bolts to make sure they were right. I check the bolts to make sure they're right. And yeah, we're getting ready to hook this thing back up. We're gonna hook up the intake manifold to all of its air hoses, and yeah, and we're gonna make sure, we're gonna see what we got here. Alright guys, so I've switched over to the GoPro for a second just to let you guys know that at this point I'm gonna go ahead and try to I'm gonna go ahead and test the system. I'm gonna be big and brave about this thing. I'm gonna be a big brave boy, and I'm gonna hook up the battery. I'm gonna turn the heat all the way up. I'm not gonna start the vehicle, but I'm gonna go ahead and see if the coolant running through, if any of it leaks out, and I'll probably throw a little bit of pressure at it just to see what happens. So wish me luck. Alright guys, well, I got it pumping. The minute I ended up turning on the heater, the coolant sucked down immediately, so that tells me that it is going through the pipes like it's supposed to. And I'm just gonna throw a couple of pounds of pressure at this thing, see what happens. Alright, right now I'm at 5 pounds. It's holding at 5 pounds. Gonna check for some leaks. See if anything's dripping at all. I don't have any leaks yet. I'm gonna go up to 10, and if it holds at 10, then I'm pretty much in the clear. Alright, as you can see, I'm just past 10, and we're gonna see if this holds. Alright guys, I've had this thing on for a good little bit. There's no leaks. It's holding pressure. I pumped it up to right about 14 pounds, and it's good. I think I'm good. I haven't seen, I can't detect any leaks. It's holding. I think this is a win. I'm gonna go ahead and detach this thing and probably lose a ton of coolant, and yeah, we're gonna go and start throwing this thing back together. It should be fine now. So cool. Alright guys, well, I'm at the point now where the intake manifold is on. I have the nuts on, but I don't have them torqued to spec. It's 11mm nut, like M7, and you got to torque these to 11 foot-pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, I'm going to start torquing the bolts. I'm going to go with what I know about doing these, which is basically you just kind of do it in a crisscross pattern. Starting from the center and working your way out in a spiral motion. Now, some people say it doesn't matter, but to me, the pattern always matters. Alright, so I got everything torqued down, and now, really, not much to do. Got to put the fuel rail on. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm just kind of cleaning off the ends of these. I used a little bit of penetrating fluid to help me put these in, and then I just kind of gonna clean them up a little bit. Alright, well, after a little bit of wrestling, I got this bad boy in place, and what I'm gonna do now is just I'm gonna go ahead and start putting the injectors down in, and they've been lubed a little bit, so you just got to make sure that you line them up nice and neat, and then you can kind of give them a little push until they start to seat. Then after that, you got to just be real careful not to break any pieces or parts or anything, and they just kind of push right down in there. Now, I've been reading up on some forums about some of this stuff, and they're saying that you shouldn't have to remove the fuel rail to take out the manifold, like you're just supposed to just unclip it from over here. But I ended up taking it out, so that's what I did. So what do you want? I think we're good. Everything seems to be seated. Alright, so now that everything's in, I'm going to go and start throwing some bolts in this thing. I believe these are 10mm. Fact of the matter is, I'm just going to kind of freehand this a little bit. I'm just going to snug them. So now I'm going to go ahead and start putting the wire harness part back together. And let's do that. Wire harness back together. Night wrenching, folks. That's what we're doing. We're doing straight up true to the game night wrenching right now. So all of this It's now where it belongs. You have this one large wire here. It's kind of caught up under something. I hope I don't have to unhook nothing crazy to get it from out of there. So now all those clips are back being set. Alright, so I got lucky and wiggled that thing out of there. Now my batteries are going low again. All I'm going to do is connect this and then reconnect everything to the intake manifold, and then I'll go ahead and put you guys back on once I'm ready to test drive, or actually just make sure everything's good on this thing. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Maybe tomorrow.